Even though Merkl has a $0 TVL, I personally think it is the best yield farming platform out there for earning additional yield on your concentrated liquidity pools. We're going to dive right in today and talk about why I believe that. And the main reason why I believe that is because you can literally provide liquidity for blue chip assets, something like Ethereum to USDC or BNB to USDT or even ARB to USDC, and all these other opportunities get the fees that you would get for normally providing liquidity on platforms like Uniswap, QuickSwap, and other decentralized exchanges, but also get a ton of additional incentives. Those incentives ultimately bolster your overall return that you would get by being deployed into those liquidity pools. Let's dive into it. To briefly talk about the business model that Merkl follows, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, they have a $0 TVL. That's because they're a platform that allows other platforms and protocols to incentivize specific concentrated liquidity pools. As we probably all know, concentrated liquidity is taking over the decentralized finance space, especially when it comes to decentralized exchanges. The reason why is because you can get super high returns while taking minimal risk with these higher market cap assets that are more consistent when it comes to returns, as opposed to having to dive into some random DeFi protocols, get some incentive tokens that ultimately end up crashing down eventually. Looking at some of these different liquidity pools, I want to take a look at this Uniswap V3 one right here, Pepe to Ethereum. So in this instance, we can provide liquidity for Pepe and Ethereum. We would get the fees that we would normally get for providing liquidity on this pool, but then we would also get a share of this $743 in incentives that is being paid out to liquidity providers for this pool. Now the thing is, Merkl does not just support Uniswap V3 or QuickSwap, it supports so many different platforms, which is great for finding different opportunities for one, but also great because we don't have to be bound to a specific network or bound to a specific decentralized exchange. As you can see, they support a plethora of different networks right here, and today I'm going to show you exactly how you can start to go through these and find your opportunities. It's pretty simple. Once we're on Merkl.angle.money, we're heading over to the opportunities section, and then once you're there, you're going to want to start to search for assets that you believe in. So let's just say I wanted to provide liquidity for something like Ethereum to USDC. I would type in Ethereum to USDC. Now it's not a perfect system, but you'll notice that we have Ethereum to USDC, but what happens if it's labeled as something like USDC to Ethereum? Well, we just have to type in USDC to Ethereum basically, and you'll also have to type in WETH and that type of stuff, but it works and it allows you to see different opportunities. But for the most part, there's like 570 different opportunities right here. I would say your best bet is going to be to filter specific chains, filter specific actions, like not just providing liquidity, but also hodling tokens or lending and borrowing or claiming airdrops and stuff like that, but also making sure that you are only looking at live positions. So when we dive into this, you can see that there are 365 live opportunities right now. In terms of actions, I just want to look at providing liquidity. So there's 307 opportunities right there. And when it comes to chains, I want to look across Ethereum, Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, Polygon ZK EVM. Those are the main ones. And then I start to dive into stuff like Blast, Mantle, Manta Pacific, Scroll, Linea, BNB Smart Chain, ZK Sync. And I'll probably stop right there. That gives me 254 different opportunities. And I could just start to scroll through these. Yes, it's annoying to scroll through 254 different opportunities, but at the same exact time, 254 is better than 300. So definitely use the filters. We could also look at TVL. So if we wanted to look at stuff that has higher than a $50,000 TVL, it's pretty easily narrowed things down. Even if we were to go to $75,000, we're at 176, or what I would personally do, because I'm deploying a little bit more capital into pools, $100,000 in TVL. Now, before we go any further, guys, make sure to give me a follow on Instagram. The link is in the description, but also my ad is right there. We just got featured on a Times Square billboard right above the NASDAQ building. How ironic is that? And the only reason why we got featured over there is because we are the best DeFi coaching as well as software company out there. I don't see any of these other guys on a Times Square billboard. And the best part is we didn't pay for this. A $300 million company flew us out to New York, put us on the billboard simply because we are the best out there. But also over on my Instagram, I post about exclusive events that I'm hosting. Like this Monday, I'm going to be hosting a free workshop on how to use my 6-figure DeFi software, and you can only find that link over on Instagram. But to dive right back into Merkl, I want to talk about some of the opportunities that I'm personally looking at and start to build out a portfolio by using these different opportunities. Now, some different exchanges that I don't mind being on: Camelot for starters. That's a great exchange over on the Arbitrum network. I also love Uniswap. If you guys haven't already watched some of the other content on my channel, it's primarily Uniswap content. QuickSwap is great. I've had the opportunity to be able to connect with the QuickSwap team before and talk to them on a live AMA in our DeFi Legacy program. SushiSwap is fine in my opinion. It's a fork of Uniswap V3, but there's not much TVL over there, so I often don't provide liquidity over on SushiSwap. I've only done it like once or twice, and that's about it. Now, when it comes to actually looking for some of these different pools, I'm going to filter by TVL because I want to look at the stuff that has the highest TVL first, not just the highest APR, because then I'm going to start to have a lot of noise. Like, as you can see, 433% APR on Winner to USDC. Now, I have heard of Winner before, but but I personally don't want to go and deploy my capital into this because I'm not even a big fan of Winter because I haven't done much research on it. I've only heard of it before. So definitely filtering by the TVLs is my go-to option. And I start to look at these assets and see what I've heard of. I haven't heard of DYAD, so what I would do is I would pull up CoinGecko and just simply pull up the asset. And then over here, I'd be able to find the website and some other information about the DYAD token. And it looks like it's a stablecoin yield protocol over on the Ethereum network. Now it's showing 45% APR. That looks great. It shows it has a TVL of $39 million. I would really need to go in and conduct some advanced due diligence. And it's important to mention that DYAD token has a market cap of $18 million. So we're getting a 45% APR, but it's an $18 million market cap. Haven't really heard of it. In my opinion, it wouldn't even be worth the risk to just dive into this pool, even if we didn't care about it just to get the APR, because, well, guess what? It's not doing that good of an APR. I'd rather be in something like Ethereum USDC. And in my opinion, it's perfect time to run something like Ethereum USDC. The reason why is because the market is moving downwards. And if you know anything about concentrated liquidity, whenever you go to the top of your range, you will have full USDC because your Ethereum is being sold to the traders because they're buying it, they're giving you USDC. Whereas as the price is going down because people are selling, which means that people are getting USDC, the traders are, and we are getting Ethereum as liquidity providers. So effectively, we're dollar cost averaging our stablecoins into Ethereum on the way down. So in my opinion, it's the perfect time to be running an Ethereum USDC strategy. If we could get a good base APR just from the fees, but then also get all these additional Merkl incentives like these Arbitrum tokens over here, that would be ideal, and that would be the strategy that I would consider running. So I would probably bundle up Ethereum USDC along with the wrap Bitcoin to Ethereum strategy, because who doesn't love providing liquidity for wrap Bitcoin and Ethereum? Those are the two most correlated assets in the market right now, at least when it comes to blue chip assets. And you also have wrap Bitcoin to USDC that you can throw in there if you want to as well. Going further down this list, we have stuff like Grail to USDC. Grail is native to the Camelot platform, and this is obviously on the Camelot decentralized exchange, showcasing a 230% APR. So obviously do some research on Grail token, make sure it's something that you want to include in the portfolio and that the tokenomics of it are pretty solid. Remember, some of these pools are providing Grail incentives, so there could be some selling pressure there. There's Pendle to Ethereum that looks to be doing 175% APR. That's pretty good in my personal opinion. But the point is there are plenty of different opportunities, and obviously these APRs are going to fluctuate depending on the range that you choose. The tighter the range that you have in your liquidity pool, the more APR that you're going to get, whereas the broader the range that you have in your liquidity pool, less APR that you're going to get. But remember, that doesn't just affect the rewards that you're getting over here, that also affects the fees that you are getting. And to briefly describe what these rewards are and how this system actually works, protocols will come in here and they will go to create a campaign. They will go over here, select the type of campaign they want to create. Let's just say they would do one of these liquidity campaigns. They can put a start date and end date. They would also put the token that they want to incentivize with, as well as the pool that they want to incentivize, basically. And then what Merkl does is Merkl says, okay, now we have, let's just say $2,500 of Moxie token in rewards for this pool. Merkl will go and find out which wallet addresses make up for how much liquidity on a specific tick. And as the price moves, it will constantly pay out rewards on each and individual tick. So it's a system that essentially allows people to incentivize different liquidity pools. And this is mainly tailored to projects, the incentivize feature, but then liquidity providers can easily and fairly get those additional incentives. Because guys, it does not really make sense to provide the same exact incentives to somebody that has $1 million compared to somebody that has $1,000. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense to provide the same exact incentives to somebody that has a super tight range compared to somebody that has a super broad range. So Merkl solves that problem by making sure that it breaks it down tick by tick to make sure that incentives are fairly paid out. That's exactly what Merkl does. The best part is if you want to start earning the returns over on Merkl, all you have to do is deposit natively into the platforms. Like we would go over to Camelot, deploy into Winter to USDC, or go over to Acheron, deploy into ETH to USDC. And then we can head over to Merkl and we can start to get these rewards, and they'll show up here. Like as you can see, I have $29 of unclaimed rewards. These are rewards that I didn't even know that I had before. It's just now I can go and claim them. So I also highly recommend you check out Merkl platform to see if you have any unclaimed rewards for different liquidity pairs that you were yield farming in the past. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, notifications turned on. We bring you the best content in the game because we are the best out there. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.